welcome back to episode 2 of our Vintage Story playthrough. Again, I'm still fairly new to the game, so I'm not 100% familiar with all of the mechanics. We're kind of learning as we're going. I'm going over very basics that I know, but by no means am I an expert in the game. In our last episode, we got our little dirt hut here built up so we can survive our first night. We do have some clay in our inventory that we're going to go ahead and place down so we can get started on some clay items. We don't quite have the ability to refine them yet, but we will. So for now, I'm going to go ahead and do a cooking pot, and I'm going to go ahead and remove the pieces that say remove. Unlike when knapping stones, when you are forming clay, you want to make sure that you get rid of all of the yellow bricks. The green bricks mean you add, so this is where we press the right click instead of left click. And you can hold that button to kind of give you auto. If you accidentally do what I did, which is place an extra block, you can always take that back, and it will highlight that in orange for you. So they at least slightly dummy-proof it for idiots like me. You could call me an idiot savant if you will. So we are going to just keep making layer by layer until we get a pot. Might have us do one more. It looks like it might. Looks like there's going to be a slight bevel on the top here. So now we've got our first raw cooking pot. We're going to need to heat this up in a fire so that it can actually form properly and harden. Fire, speaking of, just went out. That's okay though, because we can always refuel this bad boy, bring it back to life. So that way, as the night continues, we do have a little bit of something we can do. I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to make a bowl this time. So again, I'm going to make sure we get all of the pieces. I like to just outline that, but we can't do that because we're not knapping a stone. I just got done saying that earlier. Get all of it. We're going to add our layers to start forming the bowl upwards. And then now we have our first bowl. Again, still need to be refined, so we're not out of the woods in that regard yet. I am going to go ahead and do, let's see, a storage vessel would be nice because we can preserve some food. Watering can also be great for farming purposes later down the road. For now, I'm just going to place my clay back in here, keep my stored items. You'll notice my hunger meter is going down quite significantly. I could choose to place my bed and sleep through the night. The problem that we're going to run into is that if I try and sleep through the night, this game does track your hunger meter depletion while sleeping. That being said, when you sleep through a night, you also grow hungry. If you grow too hungry, you start starving. So I'm going to wait out as long as I can, hope that we don't starve. But what we can also do, we can open our fire here, we can open our menu here, and we can, I believe, cook some cattails, if I'm not mistaken. It might need to be in a stew, though. Like 700 degrees Celsius. Celsius. They burn at 600, so I guess it is not that. There we go. It's the roots that we can make. We're gonna get 3 pieces of food out of this. I don't know how much of your hunger meter these are gonna fill. So this is gonna be a brand new learning experience to me, and we're gonna figure that one out together. So I'm gonna take you 100 saturation or satiation, whatever you prefer to say, which is 1 little meter bar there. Now, if I had more cattails around, I would love to go grab some more cattail roots, but I don't have any more cattails around. So, we're probably going to want to make sure that we are hunting tomorrow when the morning comes, and that way we can get as much good food as possible. I think when it comes to finding a place to build a home, I'm probably going to want to try and shoot for this area here. I like the ability to be next to large bodies of water, and I like the idea of us being near trees, so that we have additional resources at our disposal. So at this point, I've eaten all the food that I have. It is not daytime yet, and we might be in some dire straits. We might start starving. I sure hope not, but it is possible. If we start getting daybreak soon, we can't pack up our fire here, and I'm going to immediately be looking for some sort of additional food. Let me go ahead and make us another knife, though. Because we have the tools to do so. Gonna place you there. And then we're gonna go for another spear. A method that I find very useful while hunting, especially if we're hunting larger game like boar, is to have one spear that you can throw at the boar, and then one spear on standby. And that standby spear is going to give you the ability to run up and start poking at it, and that way we can try and get as much damage as possible in, and then of course get that meat so we can cook it. It does look like we're at least nearing daybreak. It's starting to get a lot lighter, so I'm going to take this, plop that back in there, let that fire fizzle itself out, pop this open, and I'm going to start looking for some animals. Now, much like in real life, animals might be a little hard to come by right now because it's raining. It's very, very rooted in the survival aspect and trying to mimic real life. So when it's raining, animals aren't necessarily out and about. I heard a wolf. Actually, that may have been a fox. Nope, it wasn't wolf. There we are. do enough damage to them, they'll start running away from you, which should be your cue to run up on them. We want to make sure we get that meat. You can see its tail tucked between his legs as well. We just gotta hope he doesn't turn on us. Oh, there we go. That wolf got us. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. That wolf had a friend nearby. We did not. Thankfully, at least our crafted tools stay with us when we die. This is not by default, but this is a mod that you can install early on in your play. I would say this is a good idea for you to do. We also have the cattails right as soon as we spawn. We can go back to our body. If we look at the map, it will tell us where our gravesite is. So this is nice because we can actually travel over there and try and go get our stuff back. Those wolves are probably still there, so it's probably going to be something that is a dangerous adventure to do. But in our case, we do actually have stuff to lose that would not be fun to lose. So I'm going to try and make my way back there. These berries as I'm going. Avoid the water best I can. It does slow us down. Now, on the map, it looks like a long way, but something you'll learn very quickly about the map is that the map is misleading often. It looks further in a lot of situations than you're really actually traveling. Here's that cobblestone we passed on our way to finding a decent little area. I believe that is that same jerk face and friend. Yeah, you better run, boy. Where you going, son? Where in the heck did we spawn? Well, we should have just traveled this way. I gotta get down safely now. If we can find a bit of clay over here, it may just be worth it to keep this area away from those wolves. I would like those wolves because those wolves give us decent food, but I don't know if that's going to be possible. So I think what we'll do is we will switch gears and see if we can find some clay over here. Typically we can find clay around shorelines, so I don't know if we'll have a hard time finding clay. Well, let's just take a look around and see what we can see. Not seeing clay immediately, but doesn't mean it's not there. It just means we're not seeing it. sunlight. Usually during the day we're not going to encounter a whole lot of wolves, and if so, they'll be asleep. I would more so be interested in boar if we find boar. Not seeing a whole lot of clay though, which is rather unfortunate. But turnips and berry bushes aren't the end of the world to have. And we got turnip seeds, which means we can plant turnips and get ourselves some decent food supply wherever we choose to build. Honestly, I think that, like I said before, over here would be a decent little area. So I think what we're gonna do is try and settle around right here, or maybe over here by all these cattails. Ton of mushrooms here. Got some puffball mushrooms. I think that's gonna be our best bet, is to build around in this area. So I think I'm gonna set up a little base of operations right here. I'm gonna try and make this a little bit of a nicer looking build, so in our next episode we're going to be tasked with collecting quite a bit of wood as well as some stones to be able to make cobblestone for our home. So that way when we have a fire inside, we're not burning it down. Of course, wood is combustible, dirt is not, so our dirt hut was okay for having a fire pit inside, but it would not work well if we had a wooden house. So we're going to want to either do stone or dirt. So our next episode is going to be tasked with getting us the materials necessary to make a good sizable home. I wouldn't say huge, but at least something that will be comfortable, something that we can actually dabble in all of the early game survival things we would need. This is granite sand. I was hoping that was clay. It's not. But yeah, that is going to be our next episode focus, and that will finish out this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed yourself. I know I sure do. I always do when I play games like this, and we will see you in the next episode. Until then, take care of yourselves. Have a great night. Bye for now.